Welcome back to the Built for More podcast by Premier & Co. Today, we have Dylan Freeman, the owner of Arcelo Homes, situated in the Gold Coast, who's been able to scale his business 4x in under 12 months. So if you own a construction business, this one's for you. If you're wanting to scale and you're wanting to scale a large contractor base with great profits. Dylan Freeman, welcome to the pod.
Thanks for having me.
Dylan, I want to start this podcast off because you've got an incredible journey, and I know it was around 25 when you first started in business. Is that right?
Yep.
Mate, take us back to then. What pushed you to go out on your own at 25?
So I was working for quite a large EBA company, working big hours, sort of no life on the other side of the big hours, Monday to Friday, then half day Saturday. I sort of wanted more time with the family. So I, started sort of doing my own jobs. We'd finish on a Saturday. I'd go sort of do a job whether, after work on a Saturday, carry my tools from site to my car and work Saturday, Sunday until, it started to really take off and started to get enough work sort of coming in to figure out, okay, well, I can either keep killing myself on the weekends or I can, make the leap. So I actually jumped from a company that had plenty of work to a company that had 6 months worth of work.
Sort of big shift.
It sort of felt like it was the push I needed. I knew I had 6 months left, so I had a timeline there to get all my stuff in order to go out on my own. So, I did that and then sort of never looked back and, sort of ventured into business, wanting to obviously do well in business, but also remember that I did this for a lifestyle as well, not just to be, a slave to the job again. So, and from there, it's sort of we've grew a passion to building, I guess, houses we'd want to live in. It's sort of really taken off. So
I guess rewind to the first 12 months in business, because I believe the first 12 months, it's like this juggling act because you're either scaling so quickly or you're trying to scale that, it's probably a section of the business that a lot of people don't talk about or probably don't reflect on.
You really question yourself.
Yeah. What was the first 12 months of?
It was definitely a little bit like that. I sort of tried to save as much money as I could to go out and sort of set my prices and be happy with my prices. And if I didn't win every job, when you first start off in business, you want to win every job. So it was quite hard. But I sort of did that first maybe 8 or 9 months by myself, and then I started turning away jobs because I couldn't do them by myself because the work we had on. So that's when I made the call to put on another tradie. And I think we ended up with sort of 3 or 4 tradies when we first started there, and then now we're sort of dialed it back down to just all subcontractors doing it for us. And
I think that's actually a really good point that you have, because being a builder, when you're scaling a company which is building these architectural homes, such as the ones that you do, having that subcontractor base compared to having a full-time crew, what do you find the benefits?
I find if we finish in a job, I don't have to worry that I don't have work for the boys the next week. I don't have to come up with the wages. The subcontractors finish their job, they get paid for their job, and then we call them again when there's another job for them to do. So it's not like I have to continuously find work for them. I find they're quite happy to work on a subcontractor rate as well, because they can maybe set their rate a bit higher than being on an hourly rate. And I find they work harder and stick to more of a timeline than being on an hourly rate. They're sort of, sometimes boys on hourly rates can kick stones. So it's, I find it like a good format for us. And
because when you came on board with Premier & Co, you were doing around 3 builds a year.
Yep.
What are you currently doing now?
So we're on track this year to do 9, with sort of a few in the pipelines, hoping to finish the year out. It's going good, and but we've sort of got a clientele now that we don't build sort of average run-of-the-mill house, I guess you could say. Like, we don't sort of build bottom of the barrel, and we've always started off not wanting to chase everyone to the bottom, competing for rates, and so we build like a nice finished product house. It's the same as what we would do on the Gold Coast in like a Hope Island resort. Same sort of home, same light switches can be found in our smaller homes. So I've always tried to
keep that high standard, that high quality.
I try not to say like cheapen it down into a small, but that bigger home into a more compact size. So, and try and make it affordable for everyone as well, to have that sort of beautiful house that everyone wants. So
100%. I want to go back to talking about having a team and then also having the contractor model, right? When you've got a team, you have to make it work. You've got to hustle. You've got to find the next jobs. When you don't have to do that and you don't have to pay the guys, it does take a special type of person to stay motivated, to keep pushing to get those next jobs. What was it about you, Dill, that I guess gave you that drive and that ambition, even though that you might have completed a job, you might have had some good profits, and then thought, well, I need to keep pushing for more?
I guess I'd probably owe a lot to a friend of mine. I sort of see him sort of always pushing the next level. So I guess instead of being jealous or envious, which some people might be of that, I sort of always admired it and wanted to be like that as well. So I guess, just sort of a drive to do better there, to keep, and then same as like today, getting on in front of camera, out of my comfort zone. Trying to always put myself in that next level and out of my comfort zone until you get comfortable there again and then push again. So
it's a good point that you made, Dill, because two deals on the podcast. But it's a really good point that you made, because Dylan Freeman, I know that when you first came on board Premier & Co, you actually put yourself into boxing to sign up for a fight. It shows the resilience, and actually shows when you have a target, when you have a goal to achieve, you go out there and execute it. Tell me a little bit about that, because I think it's so important in order to have something to aim towards outside of your business as well, but it also pushes you inside of the business and you see the benefits from it. Doing that boxing fight, training leading up to it, why did that help your business?
I think sort of being able to dedicate and commit for the 12 weeks to train, it made it a lot easier to set a goal inside our business and it sort of, maybe I could have swap it over from training for the fight to training to kick a goal in business. So when you guys sort of talk about setting targets and goals, it, I guess, really relates to myself. I find, if I don't have a target or something to work towards, I sort of do find myself in limbo a bit there. So
it's such a good point, because, we talk about time blocking and making sure that you have a schedule leading into the week, right? So whatever the task may be that you need to complete for that week, actually having something that you wake up in the morning, you open up your calendar and you've got a series of things that you need to execute straight away. I feel like a lot of people, they go into the business after it reaches a certain level and it's just like they're putting out fires, or they're trying to find something to do. Like the first thing that arises, will fix this. So having that structure, what has it meant for you, inside of your business, and what does that structure even look like?
So my structure looks still like very basic. I sort of have a list of things to do, and if I don't get that list done for the day, it goes on top of the next list for the day, and I'm still a classic cross it off the list. So I'm not the most computer savvy person. Getting better at sort of getting it going, but I'm still a very basic tick and flick list kind of guy.
With I want to loop back to the boxing match. So obviously that's an uncomfortable situation, and as business owners, we tend to find ourselves in a lot of uncomfortable situations, whether it's self-inflicted or not. How do you cope with difficult situations, whether it's cash flow, whether it's preparing for a fight, whether it's pushing for that next project to come through? What's the flick for you that helps you work into those situations?
I think just time after time going through it over and over again. And I'm a big believer in everything's going to sort of work out. Like the worst thing is not that bad. So I don't know. You can never be fully comfortable in the situation when it does happen again. But I feel going through it over and over again, whether it be our own in-house developments or cash flow where we're waiting on stage payments. I guess you sort of get comfortable in the chaos a bit.
You get used to it, right? It's like, hang on, we're back here again. This is normal.
And I remember this feeling.
Each time you think it get easier, but maybe each time you bite off a little bit more.
But that's what gets you there.
It does.
And I think that's so many people, really sacrifice their success because they don't lean into that fear. They don't lean into that uncomfortable situation in order to acquire that result.
Yep.
But if you have a look at any success that anyone's ever achieved, you're always in that uncomfortable situation. You're always pushing for more. And exactly like what you said, it just feels normal.
Yep.
And, you're back here again. Oh, sweet. We know that we're going to get a result.
It actually feels a little bit weird not being having something when I'm all it's, everything's going really well, I feel a bit weird. Like I need some stress in the life. So I push my friends the same. I said, like if it was easy, everyone would do it. So, and running a business is not easy. Whether building houses in your by yourself it's not easy. None of it's easy. So, and a lot of people would quickly quit because things get tough, and instead of pushing through, they would quit. So
what would you say to someone that has never taken a big risk before inside business? They might have done all right, they might be turning over 7 figures, but they've never really pushed themselves in order to gain that next result because they might not have the confidence, they might not back themselves. You back yourself pretty hard.
Yeah.
What's some advice that you would give to someone in that position?
So risk as such, I wouldn't say we're taking a risk where it's either go belly up or succeed. Like it's calculative risk, but I see what's the worst thing that can happen. If you've done numbers on it or you've done risk assessment on it, there's like the worst thing is you're gonna, instead of say 100,000, it's gonna be 50,000. Like
you'll end up back where you were.
Yeah. So it's still, but you might, but more than not, it's going to work out better for them. So
I love that. It's so true. What's the worst that can happen? A lot of people don't ask themselves that, and then if they do, they talk about, the biggest problem or, they're going to go broke, but would you really go broke?
Exactly.
Like worst case. And, after you start to speak about it, start to write it down, it's actually not as bad as
another one is
seem.
It's not the right time. It's not the right time. Like it's never really the right time. There's always stuff that comes up in life outside of business that you would put your business on hold because it's not the right time. But I find there's never a right time for it. You sort of just got to go for it.
I know when you did come on board with Premier & Co, you changed your branding. We spoke about, making sure that we're niching down in your market. Talk to me about how much of a difference that made and, when we first spoke about it, what were the reasons behind it?
So, when we first started with you did suggest a name change to sort of clarify we build homes and not renovations. And, we did. We used to get a lot of calls for carports, deck extensions, and then we don't have like a full-time chippy crew that we can just roll around doing deck extensions. So to organise the subby crew just to do a little deck or
waste of time.
It's a waste of time for us. So, we changed to Arcelo Homes to clarify that we do just build homes. And since then, our leads are gone from probably 65% or 50% of new home inquiries to maybe 95 all new home inquiries. So now we're sort of built a bit of traction and everyone sort of knows Arcelo Homes builds homes, not a carport or a deck for you. So it's been a great decision to change it up.
Yeah.
Talking about branding for a second, what were some of the key things that you focused on when you did rebrand? So your capability statements, your job proposal, like how much work did you actually put into those to get it A1?
Yeah, we put a lot of time in from your templates online. My wife and I, who is the admin role, sat there for quite a while, sort of taking your templates, putting pictures of jobs we've done, facades of jobs we've done in there, into that to get it all on board. And then I find it's been a big leading hand from client agreement stage to sending a job proposal with all our previous pictures of, nice homes and nice facades we've done. It's been great.
Dill, because you're so passionate about these architectural builds that you do and the benefits from it, right? Because I want to touch on a little bit more down the track about your developments and how you've been really successful in that space as well. But to start with starting a building company and being on the tools and then actually understanding what you love and what brings in the most money, which comes down to sales, which comes down to meeting the clients, etc. You're amazing at that. Tell me the process and tell me the benefits around actually understanding your role inside of the business and what's most profitable and where you're best to be positioned.
Well, it was tough. As you just sort of said, you love being on site. I love being on site, hanging around the boys.
Yeah.
But nothing really gets done when I'm there. Like, not the boys to keep working, but I don't get anything done that I need to be doing. So
walking around on the phone and
but then I don't have my list in front of me, so I do make a phone call and I might order something, but I don't know. By the time I get home, I forgot what I ordered for what job. So, so it was still quite hard to sit in the office now, but I think I do have a passion for building the houses, especially once frame goes up, seeing the sheets sort of come together and, we're putting our finished touch on it. So it does make it a lot easier to talk to clients and go meet clients I guess, sell our product to them because I am quite passionate about building it for them.
And does that come natural to you? Because like over the past 12 months, you've obviously seen your sales increase massively. What's the difference there? And does it feel like you're selling a product or?
No, it sort of feels like and same again, obviously every job is quoted, but when it comes to a finishing touch or changing a wall to make it line up with another wall or something like that, we would sort of do it on site, and it's not about the charging the client money because I've made a change here or I think I'm passionate about making sure we build the best home we can for them and that I would be happy living there as well. So yeah, it sort of does, I guess I want to build the best home for someone I can. I guess, it does sort of come natural.
That's a good point that you made there. You know, with variations, it's not about charging more to the client and, you know, finding something to add a variation to. It's actually because you're passionate about the product.
Yep.
So if you see a wall that probably doesn't make sense and you know, made sense with the architect and on the plans, but then you're like, hang on, I feel as though if we open this space up a little bit more, it's going to be way more functional.
Yep.
And, you know, we share that with the clients. It's not actually selling, it's a benefit. We're adding value. So no wonder they want to transact on that change or that variation, et cetera.
Yeah, it happens quite a lot with most of our jobs there. There's always something there, whether it be a bulkhead not lining up with another bulkhead, a wall that sort of needs to go back 20, 30 mil where on the plan it shows exactly where it is, but we feel it's going to work better here. So, yeah, we sort of present that to the client. They're quite happy. We bring it to their attention and change it for them.
When the variations happen, because it's a touchy subject, because at the end of the day, if too many variations occur, it can come out of your bottom line as a builder, and a lot of people have been there, right?
Yep.
What is that process for you, whether it's something that you're going to wear because it's very minimal to build value, or if it's something that might have to be absorbed by the client?
Depends on the size and scale of the variation. If they're wanting a whole wall moved out, or, you know, especially if it's already been plastered or something like that. But minor sort of changes that I feel need to happen is I sort of would wear myself, because I feel like for my brand and for our business moving forward, this is what we expect on each home. So yeah, but I wouldn't say we're doing major structural changes. It's sort of very minimal aesthetics, really.
Tell me about your sales process. A lot of people, they probably don't have one in place right now. And it's something that I believe is so critical in order to follow, understand, you know, when we go out to site, the questions that we're asking, the information that we're delivering in order to create more value. What does your sales process look like from when a lead comes into the business all the way until you sign that client up for that new built home?
So first of all, I'd like to go meet the client in person, just to see if you're a right fit for me and I'm a right fit for you, whether it be just a general conversation like we're having now, just to make sure, you know, you're the kind of person we want to be dealing with and I'm the kind of person you want to be dealing with.
Can I pause you there? That is so important. And I'm guilty of this, right? In business, especially when I had the construction company, is that sometimes you just grab clients that probably you believe that they might not be the right fit for you. They might be a little bit of a headache. But because, you know, you're trying to acquire another build, another renovation, you're like, oh, whatever, I'll just put them on. But you just mentioned then, and this is so important, that you don't take on just every client. You've got to make sure that they're in line with you, your values, etc. Tell me about that. Let's go a bit deeper on that one.
So starting off, definitely was we need every job we can get.
Yeah.
Now we've built, I guess, a reputation of sort to be able to, I won't build a house for everyone. If I feel that
you can pick and choose your clientele,
and that's not saying I think you're a bad person at all. I just don't think you're the right fit for us, and I don't think I'm the right fit for you. You know, if they're sort of, I might ask them a question just in general conversation, and you sort of have a bit of a weird reaction or a bit of a hissy fit about that. Like we're building a house for you for the next,
and it's 6, a long, it's a long period of time.
Relationship, right?
And
that period.
Oh, exactly. I've asked you about like just something simple, and you were sort of blowing your lid about it or something like that. Like, how are you going to go when we're building a whole house together for 7 months? And there's plenty of stuff that is going to be awkward to talk about. It's been a hard time to be able to adjust to being, I guess, confident to be able to tell someone, look, I don't think we're the right fit for you. Instead of sending them a price, So I won't waste their time and go through the whole quoting process because I don't want to waste my time either. So
How do you articulate that to the client when it's not a fit? Because that's actually
It is.
a one that a lot of people would struggle with.
it is tough. Most of the time it'd sort of be our capacity sort of at the moment. I don't want to say that I don't feel comfortable with you in person. But yeah, I think they would feel the same as well. Like if I'm sort of getting a bit of a weird vibe when I'm talking to you, I don't.
Neutral,
I don't think they feel. So I don't. Most of the time, I don't think they're too upset. And then a lot of the times it would be, I would tell someone like we meet in person for the first time, and they're already sort of trying to barter with me on how much per square meter it's going to be, or how can we save money here and there. And I sort of say, look, we're not that kind of builder. We have a product, and that's sort of what the product costs. If that's sort of a problem.
You're passionate and you want that product, you want that service, or do you just want a cookie cutter home? And that is the difference,
that's exactly
right?
how I'd word it, a cookie cutter home.
Yeah,
We're not cookie cutter builder.
Yeah.
We're not building houses on Sovereign Island, we're not building $10 million houses either. I feel that's where we have captured a bit of a niche market where, average build contract of say 450 to 550 or something like that. So, but they're nice homes, 230, 240 square meter houses. They're very nice homes.
I'll actually put a photo up here. These homes are incredible. And for, the price that you're pushing these out for, they're so attractive.
And even I know what blocks of land are worth in there because we did one last year. We bought a block of land in our company and then we sold it in our company. So I know what blocks of land are worth, and I know what they can sell for fully finished. So and I know where we sit on a contract side of things versus the block price. So even I'm building this really nice house for someone, I know that they could still pretty much sell it the next day and they move in and sell it, and there's still money in there to be made. So I think that's a big pushing of our business model as well, is we don't tell them you could sell this tomorrow because I'm not a financial advisor.
Yeah, but that's actually another good point that you've made there, is that if you are actually passionate in your product or service and you actually understand the value that it's going to deliver to your clientele, that's what solves all the problems.
Yeah.
And that's what I guess, I believe, helps you become comfortable with how much you charge. Yeah. And like what you said, understanding the clients that you want to take on and understanding the clients that you don't want to take on, and being, very straight down the line, black or white with that. One of the best things that I ever did was created an onboarding process. So even when it felt great and the client accepted and we wanted to take them on board, is to create an onboarding process, what it looks like to work with us. Do you have that now inside of your business when you onboard a client, basically what it looks like, the communication, where we communicate? Is it a WhatsApp channel, et cetera, et cetera?
So we have on that job proposal, it sort of give you a timeline, what to expect, all sort of built into our job proposal for there. And then we would just communicate. I'd communicate via email, but we'd send them, once they're signed up, we send them a full Excel table or a full table there to show exactly where they need to pick
started
items.
the build. Yeah.
Where they need to go to get stuff, where they go do their selections. So it's coming together a lot better now, especially after we're sort of gaining so much traction. We're starting to get some really good procedures in place. So,
Dill, I want to talk about your team for a moment, because you've got obviously your partner Selena that's in the office helping with a lot of the back end, and then you've got Daniel that's your project manager.
Yes.
Tell me how that dynamic works, and then tell me about how your relationships with your subcontractors works, because you do only use the one team, and obviously you do have a great relationship there. I want to know how that works.
So obviously my wife in the office, she is really good behind the scenes. A lot of credit to her. Dan, I think we sort of touched on it when we're at the mastermind. Dan is the planner. I'm the go. He's the planner. So.
Absolute legend. Shout out to Dan.
He is good. It's a breath of fresh air having him on. Just someone to bounce off, So I make sure everything's there for him on site, and he makes sure all the boys on site are doing the right job. And then, I sort of would refuse to shop around our trades, because I guess a big part of, we build for repeat clients or referred clients from people that were built for. They refer their friends to build. So delivering that same finished product is quite important to us. So I feel if I started shopping the trades out to save $1 here or there, or I guess we have to schedule our jobs correctly so that the trades all aren't booked into one job at once. But I feel using the same trades for every job, it helps knowing we're going to achieve that same finished product on every job we do. So it would be very rare we'd use more than sort of 2 trades different on a job. So
yeah. With your builds that you do outside of your business, because I think there's this, I guess, misconception at the moment with a lot of businesses that people chop and change in order to make more money, and, you know, they shiny object syndrome, they start something else new and they actually go away from their bread and butter. But what you've done is you've incorporated it. So, you know, you've built this business where it creates cash flow.
Yep.
And then it actually supports you to go out and develop your own properties.
Yes.
How many properties have you developed for yourself, and what's, you know, been the biggest eye opener from doing that?
So we've done, I'd say 4 or 5 now. Most of them being in the company. But yeah, we sort of creating cash flow in there to get a loan through the company to, yeah. And I find it quite passionate to build our own house in-house in company, because obviously there's no clients involved in it. So it's sort of like a blank canvas really to go for it. So, and yeah, to being able to generate enough cash in the company to build.
To support it.
Yeah, to support paying a loan off, whether it's through the company for the build we're doing. So, and then, yeah, we get to sell that house to someone that gets another beautiful house, and it works out pretty good.
Yeah, and it supports your brand at the same time, because people continuously see the type of projects that you're delivering. And you mentioned before about, you know, when you go in to meet a new client and you share with them the value and the returns that they're potentially going to get and how passionate, you can support that. You're like, well, I've just finished a development and just sold it.
Yeah.
And recently you just sold one?
Yeah, so we just sold one in Bar Scrub. So we bought the block, built the house, and it sold and it did well. So, yeah, I guess for me, a big backing of me being passionate about it is I can sort of tell them, you know, I'm got skin in the game there as well.
Yeah.
So it's good.
That's actually a good point to touch on with the developments, because people have so much shiny object syndrome that they go into something completely outside of their scope. Yeah. You know, something totally different to make more money. But, you know, property to me, to you, to Dylan, to everyone is such an easy way when you understand the trade, when you're a carpenter, builder, etc.
Yeah.
It's easy to make money. You know, property's always continuously going up. For me personally, that's where I've made my wealth, is through having a business, understanding that business really well, creating cash flow and being able to put it into property where it continues to grow, like in manufacturer equity, etc. And, you know, one thing for myself, same thing. When I had the construction business, it is that portfolio. You can show your clients you've got skin in the game. Yeah. You actually know what you're talking about. So when you want to add them suggestions or tweak their plans slightly, they trust you. They trust the process.
Yeah, a lot of our clients would, we do a few for a buyer's agent there. He sort of just, says, yeah, I'm happy with that plan. You do the colours you want. You do what you would normally do. So
yeah,
I think it also ties into, you know, doing one thing and doing it really well. A lot of people start businesses, they might hit a couple of hurdles, or they might start to make a little bit of money, and then another opportunity pops up, like Joe was saying, and they're distracted and they think, oh, this is another great idea. I'll start this business off the back end of my business. And that really actually stunts the growth, because if you give something attention, it's going to grow. How important has it been for you to purely focus on that one goal and actually gain a result?
Yeah, it's I think narrowing down just the focus onto one project or one desired goal, it does make it a lot easier. As you said, you know, you see your friend maybe doing this and you think, oh, that'd be a great idea. Maybe I'll start it. Or you see your friend doing well on stocks and you think, oh, I don't know anything about stocks, but I'm going to jump into it because it looks good. So, yeah, I've sort of been like that previously, and now I've focus on.
You know what works.
I know what works. Right. I know what we've done, and I know how to do it. So I'm not going to try and reinvent the wheel and learn a whole different thing. I just stick to what I know.
Yeah, and it hasn't all been easy, you know.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. Yeah.
Talk to me about a few times where you've hit hurdles or setbacks where you really think, hey, this might actually.
It's not going to pay off a bought mission.
Nearly every deal we've done. No, but it does. It always ends up working itself out. There's been plenty of times where I thought, oh, maybe we're biting a bit more off here than we can chew. But yeah, I guess it's just, as I said, being comfortable in the chaos and understanding hopefully it does get through. So
What's your mentality through those situations? Because a lot of people do give up. Like everyone sitting in this room has been through situations before, but hyper focusing on that goal and knowing and convincing yourself that it's going to work, like that's something you obviously do quite well.
yeah, I guess just try and get through the sleepless nights. But I get, as I said, it's probably just going through it over and over again. You sort of do start to get a bit more comfortable in it, but yeah, I just keep telling myself it's going to be all right, and it seems to be all right. So
You have a plan in them moments, in them moments of uncertainty. You have a plan, right? You convince yourself that the plan's going to work out.
Yeah.
And, for me personally, that's something that I always reflect back onto when you're going through hard times. Do you have a clear plan? What does it look like? Is it something that's measurable? When things do go wrong, do you have the confidence to get through it, or is it simply just that push,
Yeah.
With your business now, you've obviously created something really cool and really real. If you were to look back and give yourself advice at 25, what would that be? Or for a young tradie starting out, construction company?
I think maybe telling them sort of anything is possible and anyone could do it, but probably start younger, I guess, if I could.
Yeah.
So be a bit further ahead. So, but yeah, that's probably what I could say. Yeah.
Yeah. And with having things outside of the business, hobbies, things that, like, what is your purpose? What are you doing it for?
I think just to set my family up and my son. I got a daughter on the way, so set them up and my wife to enjoy a nice life. I don't need to be rich or anything like that. I just want to live comfortably. And
You mentioned that at the start of the podcast, and it's such a good point. You said, I don't want to be rich. I don't have to have all the money in the world. I just want to live comfortably. I want to set my family up. That's such a good point. You know exactly what feels good, and you know that you need to create a business in order to create a better lifestyle, have that business that supports it, actually understand what makes you happy. I feel like so many people, and I've been caught in this before, where you feel like making more money or doing more things is going to make you happy. You forget about the things that truly do make you happy, such as riding the dirt bike on the weekend, going out wakeboarding, hanging out with your family, taking the wife out for lunch or dinner, or going traveling, whatever that may be. What's that to you? What is that ultimate lifestyle look
I think,
like to you?
being able to spend every weekend, with my wife and my son and my daughter on the way, and then taking the caravan out every fortnight or every 3 weeks or something, and just long weekends that every couple of weeks would be good.
You need to get clear on that. What are you doing it for? Like, what's the reason behind it? And a lot of people, they don't know what it's for. They just want to get rich. Like, what's rich? Like, rich to some people is going camping on the weekend and having a hell time. Rich to me is being able to go out on the wake boat or go out dirt biking whenever I want, go traveling with my partner. Like, what is rich to you? So if you're out there now listening to this, actually have a think about that. Well, what's rich look like to you, and what's that ideal lifestyle? Why are you even creating this business in the first place? One point, Dill, that someone mentioned to me many, many years ago was have a look at people, billionaires in this world, and why do you think so many of them are unhappy? It's because they've forgotten the purpose and the reason to why they're doing it.
Yep.
I think that's one thing that's really resonated with me and stuck with me for a long time. Figure out your why. What is your purpose? What do you love to do? Because the more money you get, it just amplifies that life and that lifestyle.
Yeah.
I want to talk about your inner circle and the people that you put yourself around, whether it's, friends or other business owners that are close by that you're motivated by, or, communities, coaching, Premier & Co., etc. How important has the circle been to you and the people around you to your success?
Definitely a big part. I've got plenty of friends and family around. I think I have a fair few friends as well that have obviously uncles or that are doing really well as well, and sort of just surrounding myself with the people I want to be like. So I feel it does make a big difference. But I've got plenty of friends that obviously times get tough, and I can always count on those guys to,
Bounce off.
pat me on the back and tell me it's going to be all right. I guess my wife would be one of my biggest supporters. When we started this journey together, I sort of asked her, do you trust me? She said, yep. And then that's been it, really. We haven't looked back. So she's always been my number one fan. So it's been good.
That's awesome.
That's so awesome. It's something so important to have that support, you know, through
definitely.
going through business, because it is a lonely road. Like when you start a business and you start to scale it, like you feel as though no one's really there to support you. And
definitely.
if your partner's not along for the ride or for the journey, it's kind of like, shit, am I making the right decision? Are we going to go broke next week?
Well, especially the further you get down the line, the more successful you become, there's less people you can relate to. Right? So coming home to someone that can support you and you can be open to, well, it's game over because you have that support there when it matters.
Oh, definitely. Like some of the stuff we've been through, is be financially crippling and sort of relationship breaking. But she's always been there to I guess tell me it's going to be all right. So it's like,
it makes you stronger, and you build that team. It's so important, like with your relationships, is that you're actually building something together.
Yes.
You've all got buy-in, and that's what makes you stronger, and that's what helps you climb to the top.
Yeah, well, Selena and I have been through it from the get-go. So, it's not that I've built a business. We've definitely built a business, so it's been good. And she has a lot to do with it now, whether it be, sending out or making sure all the QBCC documents are in order or making sure the client agreements are signed. So she has a big part in it, so it's good.
When you were 25 to where you are now, so when you first started in business to where you are now, what was the changes that you went through circle of friends, through, still trying to be 25, but still trying to run a business at the same time, and like being the professional, but then still trying to be 25?
Yeah, be professional during the week and 25 on the weekend.
Yeah.
It was a big change. I'm 32 now and still want to be 32 on the weekends and enjoy my hobbies. But I think it's been a lot better from 25 talking to a fully grown adult, I guess, as you could say, and trying to sell them the dream, or trying to say I can, build your dream home. It's a lot easier now that I've maybe got a few more greys or something. I don't know what it is, but they seem to, it's a lot easier to approach, like a older adult now than it was when I was 25, that's for sure.
When you were 25, how did you have the confidence to speak? Because I know there will be a lot of young guys and girls that are listening to this right now that are 25 and just starting out in business or have had a business for a couple of years. I guess, how did you gain that confidence and how did you hold yourself as a person in order to run that business? What's some tips?
I think for me, etiquette is massive in business. Whether you're going into someone's house to quote a job, like for me, it's not that I would train myself to do it. It was just something I always do. I take my shoes off at my front door before I walk in the house. So for me, if you're walking into someone's house to talk to them about doing a job for them and you walk your muddy boots through their house, for me, if you were a tradie doing that, and I'd probably be off here from the get-go. Answering my phone with, I'd ring trades myself and they'd answer just with, they'd say, yeah, hello. And I'm like, is it a problem that I'm calling you? Like, who have I called? I think, etiquette like that. And then, just backing yourself and knowing what you're talking about is massive. Like, not just faking it, backing yourself and knowing what you're trying to, sell to someone or trying to do for someone. So I definitely, know what you're talking about and, have, I guess, a passion for it and back yourself with it.
Yeah. 3 things. It comes down to exactly what you said: respect, communication, making sure that you have communication with your client and your team, and then making sure that you got confidence in order to deliver.
Definitely.
You know your product, 100%.
Well, and you can tell if someone doesn't have confidence when they're talking to you.
Oh, massively.
So you're trying to build a house for someone and you
can't even string a sentence together. It's like, can you build it? Or
that's what I mean. For myself, if someone was like that, it's like I can do it for
yeah.
And all you're chasing is certainty, right? They're spending a lot of money with
exactly.
you. How do you articulate that certainty to a client to give them what they need to say, hey, we're going to use Arcelo Homes?
Yeah. So I think being clear on what we can provide and having the backing to show previous products or previous jobs and projects that were done and say this could be exactly what you get. So
Do you share with them, such as a capability statement or previous projects? You share with them when they're coming on board and actually run them through the numbers and kind of why your builds are different to that cookie cutter builder?
Yeah, so we'd have, another template of yours, our inclusions, and you can see like a lot of, I guess, cookie cutter builders would, they try and get you in the door and then variation, where we have a clear sort of inclusion list with pretty upped inclusions to begin with. So that's all on our project list as well. So
what do you think makes a property stand out? Because, your price point, it's very attractive.
Yeah.
And for the builds that you do, they're incredible. So I guess what makes the difference? Like if we're putting on the property developer's hat and the owner of a building company, what makes the standout home?
I'd say facade from the get-go. Like you could drive through a street that we've built 4 or 5 in and you could see cookie cutter, and then you could see, without even me telling you, that's one of our houses we've built. There's even the new estate we're doing now, you can sort of just see, I guess, even just looking at roof lines before roofs go on and see the difference in facade. And then we would do square set throughout, where then most people would have cornice. A big thing of ours is like a rake ceiling and then 40 mil on the bench. And it's just those little steps or little tricks, not tricks, little
finishes.
Really
Yeah.
make it, right? 100%,
Yeah.
for sure. Dill, you've had a lot of success in such a short period, which kind of brings you to the next 12 months or 24 months. What does that entail?
So since we had our goals, we sort of went through, set a goal for this year and set a clear target. So I think we wanted to sort of purchase another 2 blocks in our company and try and do another 2 in-house deals. So we've have one that we're starting soon.
You just finished another one, didn't you, recently for yourself?
So we finished our own home at home. And it's been good. I guess having that product there as well to showcase as a bit of a display home for people, I guess. So that was a big push before Christmas to get into that. But so pretty happy to get that one done as well.
So the goals for the next 12 months, what does that look like?
I think finish the one we're sort of starting in our company by sort of July, and then hopefully land another 2 blocks we can start the build this year on as well. So, and then obviously get all the 9 builds we got in front of us done as well. So be good.
I think that's all right.
That's all right.
Awesome.
Dill, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, man. Massive congratulations for everything that you've built inside of your business and for your family. And, mate, super excited for the next 12 months and see you play it all out.
Yeah, thank you, guys. It's been good having you in our corner. So I guess it's just good to be able to call you guys when we need, just for, tell me it's going to be all right.
Another one of them, mates. No, awesome.
No,
100%.
No, it's been good. It's thanks for having me down. I haven't been in Newcastle before, so it's pretty cool.
We'll head out for some lunch now and see what it's all about.
Awesome.